So Cosmo fans, it is the season finale, season 1, episode 8 tonight. Cosmo AF, we've got a promotion, we've got I Love You, we got a whole lot more to talk about right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Ooh!
Oh, I love this song.
Good. Mina didn't know what we played, but this is
You're up and you're down.
She's singing!
Surprise.
Cosmopolitan fans, So Cosmo fans, thank you for joining us. It is episode 8, season 1, the season finale. Tonight, we're going to talk about it right now. My name is Michael Rippe. You can catch me on social media at Mike Rips. Jessica's not here, but the two lovely ladies that are always here, introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Serio. You can follow me on Twitter at Serio, or for more fun, which I definitely suggest, Instagram and Snapchat at Serio.
It's not serious at all. It's so exciting.
My name is Mina Wahab. You can find me on Instagram at Mina Makes Magic.
I just want to say, Sarah, the way you just shouted out your Instagram, you guys should definitely give her a follow. That was really impressive. I'm going to actually follow her now on Instagram.
Oh, I think I follow you.
I'm following you after this moment, so as soon as I can.
Perfect.
Thank you guys for joining us. It is the 8th and last episode of the season.
I know.
Before we get into it, sad or happy?
Bittersweet.
Yeah. Literally stole the words out of my mouth.
We're in sync.
That's what it is. It's bittersweet. I'm
is.
excited for season 2.
Well, we'll get to season 2 and if there is a season 2. But let's start, because on tonight's season finale, they start in our home, Los Angeles.
I know.
And Joanna is out in Los Angeles with Holly to get a little bit of R&R, taking some meetings, and they were getting facials. Do you girls get facials, and how often?
Not really, but apparently Leonardo DiCaprio gets the same one that Joanna was getting.
Must be good.
Yeah, and it's painful. I would not get a painful facial, but I have gotten a facial before.
How frequently?
Not frequently. I do masks very frequently, though.
Yeah.
But no, facials are expensive.
And they also hurt because they
They
pop
if
weird
they can
things in
see
there.
all the blemishes, and they will get them. You look like a pizza face for sure when you leave.
Yeah.
This is incredible. So
I'm assuming you've never gotten
don't
one.
get facials or masks, but
Well, you should.
maybe I should.
Like the charcoal masks, those are like all the rage now.
I like
Charcoal.
coffee scrub masks.
If you guys are
Those are
watching,
really good.
please let me know on social media at any point where to get a good facial and the style, because I don't really know about this stuff. But
Michael will love it.
This is why this show has been great. You guys have taught me so much already.
I'm glad.
Will you follow through?
I'll let you know. Follow me on social media to figure it out. All right, after Joanna and Holly get their facials, we're hearing a lot in tonight's episode about how Joanna is ready to make big changes. We don't know exactly what those changes are, but she sees a lot of stars in the ranks, and they are going to find out at some point who's going to be taking on more responsibility.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah, we all predicted that.
Yeah, we all predicted that really early on. I thought that Leah was gonna go far. To be honest, I also did think maybe something with Tiffany, maybe something with Adam, and like DeAndre.
I don't know why I
In
felt
some way
DeAndre. I did
could-
feel DeAndre would get a shout out because I don't know. I saw one of the magazine covers on the show. They
That
had
was
like
from her fitness thing, I think.
yeah, there was
Yeah,
something
was
on
that-
there and it said Leah, and then the second name was DeAndre. So I was like, oh, only 2 names. Like maybe something's gonna
I
happen.
think it was
with
from the
DeAndre.
fitness shoe, because I saw that.
Yeah, I didn't know.
okay.
I didn't know what that was, and
Speaking of Leah, though, Leah originally at the start of tonight's episode, she's talking about going for the second baby. The timing can't be better, really, to possibly try for baby number 2.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I want to talk about James, because James is going through her bag.
He's my favorite.
He's your favorite. He's going through her bag, and he finds the information that would present itself to say maybe she is pregnant. So my question to you two and anyone out there, if James was going through your bag, what would be something that we would find that you would be like, oh my God?
I don't think anything. I have a pair of
Nothing.
socks that I keep in my purse,
Okay.
just in case my feet get cold and I have like flip-flops on. I was going to say this to be funny, but I have a checkbook, and I feel like that's so outdated. And so, like, what? I'm such a mom.
Where's the weirdest place you write a check?
I don't think I have a weird place. It would just be for rent.
Okay, well, I think people write checks for rent, but I
Yeah.
thought maybe like you're at the
I'm
grocery
like
store
at
writing
Macy's,
checks.
like,
Hold on,
oh,
guys.
how much? No, I would say I think that's it.
You carry your checkbook around all month? How many times are you paying rent?
No, I do carry. I just in there.
Okay.
What about you?
What about Mina?
The weirdest thing in my bag.
Yeah.
Something that if James was going through your bag, you'd be like, oh my God.
I don't have. I mean, my planner has everything, like my schedule for the entire week. So maybe
Okay, so
him
nothing-
knowing where
What
I
about
am at
your
all times.
bag?
I don't have anything weird.
My backpack? Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything weird in there. I don't
So
really,
we're not that exciting.
We're not.
Is what basically we
Not
just
as-
told everyone.
not as exciting as Leah.
No, we don't
Uh,
have prenatal vitamins.
Then Steven comes in and they have, their fun banter. James talks about taking a shower with Steven, and you guys loved it.
I loved it. Shout out to James. Can I just say
The group
he
shower.
commented on my Instagram post today?
Did you really?
Yes, he did, and I literally screamed in my car.
I love that.
Just saying thank you.
Okay. We talked about it, but Joanna's planning major changes. I asked you while we watched tonight's episode what you thought, and you both thought that Leah was getting the promotion, which later in the episode we'll get to. But then we come to a point where they're talking about underwear, and we learn about two types. First, there's camel no and swamp butt. Did you guys know about? Do you know about camel no?
I didn't even know that existed. I didn't know that there was a way to prevent that because what would they? How are they different?
Maybe there's like extra padding in the front,
So I was thinking that. So that
it doesn't go up you.
I was thinking
You
that.
know, so maybe it's just like super cushiony. I think it's like super cushiony, but I feel like that would be like wearing a diaper, which just wouldn't
Yeah.
be attractive.
Yeah.
This is a great time for anyone associated with camel no to maybe send some samples over to the lovely ladies.
Send some samples, please. I'd love to check it out.
Camel no, and then what do you think about swamp butt?
I think you should check that out.
Should
I
check
love
out
how
Swamp
they're
Butt.
allowed to give it a trial run. Like they gave it to Evan so he could try it out and see like what his thoughts were.
To be honest, Evan didn't seem to be too enthused or excited about the
no.
swamp butt.
Oh,
No.
he's going through a lot.
Speaking-
That's why.
And speaking of Evan and going through a lot, that was a big theme of
Yeah.
this episode in the season finale. And so Evan's feelings for DeAndre are really coming to a head. And he's struggling at work, outside of work, just in general, to
Handing
really
out flyers.
figure out how everything is going. Exactly. So he's in Union Square trying to get women to just stop and give him some workout information, but he's doing it alone, and he feels like it's kind of creepy. No one's really giving him time.
I was shocked. What girl wouldn't stop? If
What I
Evan-
literally
what?
wrote down, I would stop for Evan. I would
Yes.
stop for Evan. I didn't care.
What's
Like I lived in
happening?
New York City. I wouldn't stop because that happened all the time. People like giving you things and
Yeah.
asking you questions. So I get it, but it was Evan.
I know.
Like
He's so
and
soft-spoken,
clearly
though.
that girl had workout gear on. He was like, "You look like you work out," and she was like, "No," and
Do
I'm
you-
like,
and if they saw the cameras, wouldn't they
Do you,
stop
do
by?
you think that they possibly for tonight's episode
They
cut
wouldn't.
out the parts
I
where they
was
were
thinking
stopping
that. I
and
was
just
thinking
editing it into
that.
like that?
yeah.
Yeah, because
It does seem weird. No,
statistically,
especially in New York, people give you a little bit of time a day. You throw some cameras in there. Evan's a good-looking guy. Like,
Yeah.
at working out, like it seemed like
Especially like at least a tourist would probably be like, "What's this?" and they would totally stop.
Yeah.
seems like it could have been some editing. We're on to you guys.
Seems like
I
it.
think so.
But even before we get to that, Evan's having a tough time. He's talking to Adam about his feelings, and Adam mentions that it's kind of like no more games that show her if you want her.
I actually really liked Adam's advice throughout the entire episode because I feel like it's the first time we see him not as silly and like very like giving solid advice. Like, you know, he even tells him, make sure you know what you're giving up if you're gonna go for it. Like, you don't know if DeAndre's even in the same space as you. Like, you're giving your career up for something like this. Make sure it's worth it.
That's absolutely true.
Would you do that? Would you give up your career for love, for the potential of love?
I gotta say, I feel like I could relate to what Evan's going through in tonight's episode right now. So it's been interesting to watch how everything is going on with Evan in tonight's episode, and how he's super nice guy and he's struggling between career and personal life, and so it's been interesting to watch. But
Michael,
we'll get back
everyone.
to Evan in a little. So Joanna talks to Michelle next about the catch up and a transitioning, and Michelle's recognizing her team and how there's going to be some new roles for people, and Joanna really lets out that there are stars at Cosmo, and she wants them to really take on more responsibility, and it's time to add the pressure.
Yes.
which is a constant theme, of course, about tonight. Before we get to that, I want to just bring in Tiffany's whole red wine incident.
Yeah.
Because, first off, is this a normal thing that females think about with red wine?
What do you mean?
If you're wearing a certain type of clothing, especially white.
I mean, I never wear white.
Break
but
it down.
if I had worn white, I would have never dared gotten red wine. I would have asked for probably a sippy cup with the red wine.
Okay, Mina?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if I'm wearing something, I'm very careful to make sure, like, even with pomegranates especially, because I eat pomegranates, I'm always like, oh my god, make sure it doesn't get on there, because it stains, it won't come out at all.
So anytime you're wearing white, it's something to watch out for. If you're wearing it, Sarah, you don't really wear it.
Even if it's not white, any color that's white.
Any color.
What about with red wine in general? Forget what you're wearing. Are you always nervous when drinking red wine?
No. I used to drink it all the time.
Sure, but you're never worried about getting on your clothes.
No.
Okay, so it's like the combination of the white
I think
and the
it's
red.
probably how much you drink of the red wine. Then you could get worried.
Mm-hmm.
But
And Tiffany has quite a number of excuses for what happened to the spilling of
I love
the red
how
wine.
James is impossible to throw under the, like
he has
What-
the
what's the
wittiest comments back, and like he's not in the wrong, and I would never want him to be anyway. But it was perfect.
At the same time, it's funny. Tiffany said something that I wasn't sure about, but tell me what you guys think out there, and also what do you think? She said that the cleaners make it worse.
yes,
if
that
I
happens sometimes. No, for sure.
I've never had that experience.
Yeah.
But you clearly have.
No, like they literally mess up stuff at times.
Yeah, and I would think if that's the case, then why are there cleaners?
Yeah.
And
Who are the cleaners?
who are these
they're
cleaners?
putting it through these machines, so they don't even really know. But you would think that if you're about to buy the thing back, you would notice if there was a giant stain on it still, and you would tell them on the spot, fix
I don't know.
this.
I would have tried again at another cleaner, like maybe holistic something where you had to pay probably a lot of money for.
Well, I
Yeah.
gotta say, because
would've tried
I have had some experiences with the cleaners where they've actually made it worse, and I'm always wondering about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like they have no responsibility too.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't
I
care.
don't know.
Because it goes through a machine. They're like,
Maybe the stain like set
One
too
time-
long, but I feel like
One time I had a jean colored dress shirt that was jean colored with white, but then I got it back and it was just white, and there was no more jean color.
it was just
That's how I felt. I still feel like that
they
today.
just
World
bleached it.
problems.
But one thing I didn't mention about Evan was when he was struggling to get the attention from the women about the workout stuff, he calls DeAndre.
Yeah.
And he says, hey, like, they haven't been speaking. Can you possibly come help me? And it seemed like that was a way to at least communicate with her, maybe get her help, just to open up the lines of communication. And she kind of shuts it down.
Yeah.
She's too busy for him. Whether it was really busy or not, it was a bad situation that I feel like made everything that he's going through worse.
And I don't like how she kind of has to do this, but she always turns on her professional voice when talking to him as if they have no sort of like bond or camaraderie at all. And it's like, I'm busy right now. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, thanks for calling. Bye. Like,
And can I also
you guys
say-
have a closer bond than that? Can't
Yeah.
you just be a little bit more cordial on the phone?
I totally agree.
it's
She did have that
annoying.
like voice, and also he was like, "Hey, it's Evan," and he was like, "Yeah, it's DeAndre." I'm like, y'all, you have caller ID. You have an iPhone, guys. Like, stop.
Wait, it's the office phone though, isn't it? Did you call her on the
It's-
office phone?
It's just like, no, my mom even does that. It's
That's
like,
so
come
funny.
on, guys. I just thought that was funny. Sorry.
So that compounded, I feel like, everything that Evan's been going through, which is going to come to a head in a little bit as we
was
talk
so
about
sad.
it. It was sad. Before we move on to the promotion and the I Love You, Michael Bublé stops by the office. Just another great cameo in this season of cameos.
Yes.
Now, funny enough, in that moment, Steven wants to get a selfie, so he grabs a selfie with Michael Bublé. So I have a question. I was going to ask you guys out there, but you also, who you want to take a selfie with celebrity-wise, but instead, I want to know, let's say we got to go to the Cosmopolitan offices.
Yeah.
Which of the season cast on this season do you want to take a selfie with?
James,
Oh, Joanna Coles.
Joanna Cole?
Yeah.
James with like Steven in the background.
With Steven in the background, like
Just because like you
photobombing
didn't
or something?
say two, so
That's fair, that's fair.
He can photobomb.
Okay, so James.
And you?
Or Evan, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm throwing out. I've said a lot of different people. I want to do a selfie with Tiffany's assistant.
Yes! Yes.
Because she started this season being thrown under the bus.
Yes.
With the colors, and she finished this season in total control.
Oh, yes. Good for her.
And that I appreciated, and for that, the time that I get to be in the Cosmopolitan offices, which, by the way, I'll be in New York for a couple weeks shortly, I would love to get that selfie.
I swear if you go there.
Yeah, come
because
on.
of this?
No, I want to stop by the office.
Oh, you should.
I know.
Oh my god.
I need to see what they're up to, give a feedback to
excited.
everyone. But all right, let's get serious, because
Sorry.
now it gets serious in tonight's episode, and Joanna is ready to give a promotion.
Yes.
So she's talking about creating top teams of talent, as opposed to having each team, like same organization, people kind of going against each other. Let's work together and go against outside people, which
That's
makes
very
sense.
Smart strategy.
Yeah.
When she
Joanna's
was
super smart as a businesswoman.
Yeah.
So, and I also enjoyed in all of Cosmopolitan in this show how they give you a little bit of her kind of explaining different business strategies and ideas for women in general.
Yes.
Which I always appreciated about this season. But so she wants them to compete against others and not themselves, and for that, she sits down Leah. And so she offers Leah the ability to go from the executive beauty director to the chief beauty officer, which would be essentially doing her role at Cosmopolitan, but doing it for 4 other major magazines and doing 5 total magazines. It's a huge promotion.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Joanna says that it will make her one of the most powerful people in the beauty industry, which is obviously true, but interesting was how Leah takes it. She's excited, but also never mentions like, maybe I should get paid more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's another point where Joanna says like, don't you want to get paid more? Like, always teaching and also appreciating. How'd you feel for Leah?
I was so happy
Yeah.
for her. I feel like she deserves it. She has all of her stuff together. Not only that, but she has a good like relationship with a lot of the staff, and she's friendly. So I don't feel like we've ever seen bits of her being condescending. She always helps, and she's on top of it, and she's a mom. She's balancing a
dominating.
lot. Yeah.
Super.
I thought she just deserved
Incredible.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
From the get-go.
She really does seem to deserve it.
Yeah, and I love how Joanna Cole's the first thing she says is, when I first met you, I wasn't sure if you'd be great, but
She just
you know,
laughed.
and she's like, thank you.
The only thing is like, if that was me, or I feel like, I don't know, I would have started to cry. But maybe I'm just emotional, or maybe they just like, I don't know. She's just had that job for too long, but I just would be so excited.
I'm sure she was excited. So she's got a lot going on because she's possibly going for baby number 2, which
know.
she breaks the news to her husband Nick, and I think they were in Madison Square Park or Central Park talking about it, and talks about how it's a career game changer. Nick said something that I really appreciated. I just wanted to repeat. He said that work always comes second.
I absolutely loved when he said that.
That was one of my favorite lines of this entire season, because it was true. It was so honest, and it was a great mentality for anybody that's dealing with the personal life and work and all types of situations. It was great because he was so comforting to her and happy for her, and at the same time, like, we're gonna make it work no matter what. But work comes second. We'll figure out if you are pregnant right now or whatever we got to do, we'll do.
I think
No,
work
I
comes
loved it.
second, family comes first. But I think if it's a relationship, like, I totally understand where DeAndre comes from when she puts
there's
her
different.
career
They're married
first.
with a child.
Yeah.
I mean, but
No,
Family
I really
first.
appreciated
When you have
that.
kids, it changes
it was
everything.
a very mature comment,
Yeah,
and it
because-
was so honest and authentic.
You'd feel like young couples who are married now, I feel like not a lot of them would say that.
And especially with nowadays, and I think we're talking to Cosmopolitan fans, and people can get lost in sometimes and blurred what really is important to everyone.
Yeah, because
and
they're
what
like
matters.
working, and then it's like the money's so good, and it's like obviously sure, but yeah.
So
I love Nick.
I thought that was an amazing moment, which was a very small moment in tonight's episode, but
Yeah.
so very powerful and important. And I thought that was great. And Leah breaks that she's possibly pregnant.
I know. I don't know. I don't know.
Save it. I'm gonna ask you that in a little bit, but we're gonna finish with Evan's struggles. So towards tonight's finale of the finale, he's really struggling. You could see it. He's wearing it throughout the episode, which they're only showing us clips, so he must have been really struggling for a while there. He decides to go into Holly's office because at this point he really feels like the only thing he can do is at least talk to her. So while he's in Holly's office kind of breaking down the fact that he has a personal issue and whatnot, Adam goes to find DeAndre to tell her that Evan's like ready to quit for her. and she's shocked by this. She doesn't know that this is really what's going on. And during Evan and Holly's conversation, DeAndre just abruptly interrupts it.
Yeah, she's like, sorry to be unprofessional.
But she needs to talk immediately with Evan so he doesn't do anything, I guess, dumb. And then basically Holly gives him a runaround about how she doesn't want them to mess up their careers and do something silly that they'll regret, so go talk about it. And then DeAndre and Evan go out to talk, but DeAndre is super serious and doesn't have time don't talk right now to Evan, and Evan is... It's an interesting dynamic, isn't it?
God, it was so intense. Sarah and we were like laughing. We were like, what's happening?
She was so pissed for no reason, and I'm like, if I've ever acted that way to a guy, I apologize. Because like she was honestly very upset.
Yeah.
Extremely upset.
I just think she didn't address what she was feeling, so it just came out as aggression and like frustration to him, which isn't fair.
No.
So I just think she needed to address what she was going through, but she clearly didn't. And then, it just blew up.
And at the same time, Evan, it's funny because DeAndre doesn't want Evan to quit.
Yeah.
But she, at the same time, isn't really sure she wants to be with him.
I think she knows she wants to be with him, but she feels like she doesn't want to jeopardize her career. And she would feel super guilty were he to leave the company. So she's like in this really weird...
It's catch-22 almost.
Yeah.
What do you got to find a balance or figure out which...
She loses. If he quits, she feels guilty, but maybe she can be with him. If he stays, she's not going to be with him.
At the same time, I think Evan feels like he's losing because if he'll quit for her, but he feels like he's going to lose. If he's quitting, he's losing Cosmo. But then she's kind of telling him, like, if you quit, she's not even guaranteeing to be with him too. So he could be losing everything.
Yeah, why do that?
Which is, it's quite the dilemma. At the same time, I'm sympathizing with Evan the way that it's going.
Yeah.
Tiffany's back in the office talking about what is happening right now. And she says it's not a time for a pump fake. Did you think that Evan was pump faking?
No.
I didn't think that he was pump faking. I think he's being completely honest and going to quit for the DeAndre thing to work. And so I didn't think it was a pump fake.
Yeah, I don't think he's like that. I think he's kind of like...
It's
I
real.
don't think he was faking. I honestly think he was just vocalizing everything he was feeling, which is great. And he wasn't making a direct decision. He was just letting Holly be known what was known and what DeAndre needed to know, and he was just had confided in Adam. So I think he was just. I just think DeAndre needs to chill. She's the one that needs to take the chill pill, as Tiffany was saying, because they're not super PDA to begin with, and if they just were as fun as they were in private, I think it wouldn't be as bad as she's envisioning. And to be honest.
Truthfully, if you look around the office, it seems like everybody, really likes Evan.
Yeah.
It seems like no one has a problem with what's going on between Evan and DeAndre.
Right.
And it's very roller coastery, right? But it does seem like throughout this season that it's really been DeAndre that's been the roller coaster.
Yeah. Because Evan's willing to
Brandon.
commit. He's all in. Yeah. But when he said, I love you,
so that's how we wrap up, basically, with Evan saying, I love you to DeAndre, and DeAndre saying, I'm sorry. It's a really tough ending.
Oh, it's like the worst thing to hear when you say, I love you.
And so brutal. I felt for Evan a lot throughout tonight's episode, and I sympathized with his raw emotion and the responses he was kind of getting to putting himself out there for someone that obviously has feelings for him.
And he said it was so good because she just needed to hear someone else say it, but clearly that didn't mean anything to her. She just...
It did. She's just overwhelmed, I think. She
So-
hasn't processed it.
So...
And okay, if someone told me that they loved me after a couple months, I'd be like, whoa, okay, this is a little too fast to develop feelings.
What do you think the right time is? I mean, is there a right
But it's been
time?
less than 2 months. Can you really fall in love in less than 2 months, you think?
I think so.
To each their own.
That's crazy fast.
To each their own.
I just think the saying, when you feel, you just know when you know, and I know that's so cliche, and if I was me a year ago, I would be like, that girl's stupid, but I think until you have that feeling, you'll get it.
What's the fastest you've ever fallen in love?
I mean, have you fallen in love a lot of times?
No, I've only fallen in love one time.
Yeah,
So in a month?
That is Cosmo AF. But before we wrap up, I want to talk to you guys just about final thoughts on this season as a whole.
Yeah.
What'd you think about the whole season 1 of So Cosmo?
I thought it was a really great season. I don't like that it ended on this cliffhanger, and I kind of assumed it would because, come on, now everyone wants season 2.
Yeah.
I hope there's a season 2, but I feel like the entire season 1 was the Evan and DeAndre show with, like, bits and pieces of seeing what happens behind the scenes at Cosmo. I'd love to see more cameos in terms of, like, celebrity cameos. Yeah, it was a really good season, though. I loved
Sarah?
it.
I'm gonna be honest. Thought it started off maybe a little like weaker than most shows that I've seen, but I was still rooting for you, and I think that it finished very strong, and it kept progressively getting better and better and better. And I loved seeing more of the characters and really seeing what Cosmopolitan as a magazine and as like a family was about. And I really appreciate that their values and how they treat their workers and everything like that.
Awesome company culture.
Would you like to see a season 2?
Yes.
Okay, you both would like to see
Yes,
a season 2. Now
yes.
comes the question, do you think there will be a season 2?
I haven't taken a look at the stats of the ratings.
I think
I
there's
don't
going
know.
to be a
There
season
has
2.
to be, though. You can't just do that to us.
You can't do that. I hate when shows do that.
It's the worst, yeah.
Especially-
We
on the
need to
cliffhanger.
know if Leah's pregnant. We need to know what's
You
up
can
with
find that
Evan and
out.
DeAndre.
It's not the same, though. We can find out on social media, but I'd rather see a
Yeah.
show. And I want to
just-
know what Leah's new role is like. I want to get the inside
Yeah.
scoop on what that's like.
So
We need to know about this skirt. What happened to this
The skirt is
Weinstein
fine.
skirt?
Next
The
question.
most important question of them all.
Right now, today, are Evan and DeAndre together or not together?
I hope they're together. I seriously hope so. Yeah, I think they're together. I'd like to believe that they are.
I poor Evan, like for him, I want them to be together. Yes, they are together. If not, I hope they're friends. They're together.
From the start of the season to now, which castmate do you think comes out looking better than when you first thought about them? Like, who's grown on you the most or looks better than what you originally envisioned?
Tiffany for sure, because when the season first started out, I felt like the way she was treating her assistant, I was so turned off by her. I didn't like anything about her. As I saw the season, like the episodes progress,
Progression.
I'm like, oh my God, Tiffany is such a hard worker. She's so dedicated. She has a good heart. You can tell she's a good friend. There's like so many qualities about her that are great. But when I first started watching the show, I was so turned off by her. So it's been like a complete 180 for me.
Okay.
I agree. But I'm going to say for me it was Adam because I think he was a little in the background, like a little shadow for a little bit. And I wasn't sure if he was shy and what it was not like, I don't want to use this word because I just, it's the only one I'm thinking, but like lazy in the sense of he's not trying to like push for more. But I was completely wrong, and then he finally got his time to shine, and he's such a hard worker, so funny, such a good friend, a good listener, and
Great advice. Right?
and
yeah.
so I think Adam shined for me.
Do you both subscribe to Cosmopolitan magazine?
I don't subscribe. I did when I was younger. I purchased it at the grocery store though.
That's more expensive
I know.
than. Come on.
I do. I
Even I
purchased
know
it,
that.
but I should subscribe.
I don't, but
So
I
that's
do.
so what I'm saying
read
right there.
through
That's
it.
3 people that should be subscribing to Cosmopolitan. So let's get the magazines, right? Like they should send.
Yeah.
Come
Oh my
on, guys.
Do it. We'll put them
Cosmo.
right here. Product
Yes,
placement for
I
you
promise
guys.
you, they will go to great use.
After watching this season, does it make you want to subscribe to the magazine more?
It makes
Yes.
me want to work there.
It makes me want to work
want
there.
to live in New York and reroute my life.
I would subscribe for sure because I just love reading those articles. They're so good with the beauty advice, the sex advice, the relationship advice, the everything of what's trendy and new. So good. And I'm going to get a bottle of wine too. We should have brought
Red wine or white
wine.
We should always have wine. Before we let you go, what other shows are you doing here at AfterBuzz?
I'm doing Girls. It's going to be the season finale, so very exciting. And no more Girls for a while, which is going to be so sad unless they come out with a movie. I'm also doing Imposters on Bravo. Just finished Santa Clarita Diet up, and I feel like there's one more that I'm missing. Oh, I do a show with you, Crashing.
Oh,
Sarah?
hey, I'm just doing one more show. On Mondays, I am doing The Good Fight at 7 p.m.
Yeah, I want to make sure that everybody that's going to miss you now that So Cosmo is done can get a hold of you if they want to watch you. Also, they can get a hold of you guys on social media, right?
Totally.
Where can they get a hold of you, Mina?
You can find me on Instagram at Mina Makes Magic.
And again, I'm Sarah Serio. Follow me on Twitter at Sarah Serio, and of course, Instagram and Snapchat at SSerio.
And my name is Michael Rippe. You can catch me on social media at Mike Rips. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys all season. You can find me on other shows here at AFTERBUZZ. Shout out to Jessica, who wasn't able to be here tonight, but is awesome. You can find her on other shows. We hopefully will catch you for season 2 sometime down the road, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AFTERBUZZ TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AFTERBUZZ TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzzTV or its owners or principals.